Hello guys, welcome back here. I'm back and it's been a while, but before I start getting into things, I would like to just say that 5 years from now, if I ever become popular, I'm gonna look back at this video and be like, yo man, like, can't believe we did it, but renewing this zombies tier list 5 years later would just feel kind of iconic, if you know what I mean. Anyway, let's shrug that off and let's get into it. So these are the maps in order, and I believe it's got all of the Black Ops 3. No, actually, it has all of the Call of Duty Zombies maps, like every single one, up to I believe Durun Fang. So let's get into it. I'm gonna explain why each map deserves its spot and how I feel about it. So let's get into it, okay? So first up here we got Nocturne Totem from World at War. One thing God knows that this was the first zombies map to ever appear in a Call of Duty game. And this, however, was a small project, kind of like Dead Ops Arcade and Black Ops 1, but it attracted a lot of people into this game mode where it became today. And so I'm gonna put Nocturne Totem on a C tier. It's okay. It's not bad. It's not good. It's okay. The only problem I have with the map is that there's just a lot less zombies than there is on a modern Call of Duty Zombies map, which makes the round go a lot slower, if you know what I mean. So that's the only problem I have with it. Other than that, it is a pretty bare bones map, and sometimes I love to come back and play it, not to go on high rounds, however. Next up, we got Shangri-La. Fun fact, Shangri-La is a map, a very beautiful map, that dives into the lore of Shangri-La being the lost city. And it is a really interesting, it's a mysterious kind of map per se, because you don't really know if it takes place on Earth, if it takes place on Mars, etc. It's a mystery. But what we can know is that this map is really tight. And the Easter egg is kind of fun. I'm not gonna lie. Having 4 players in Shangri-La is a good decision by Treyarch to kind of have teamwork. Have many processes into this map, and I absolutely adore it. One thing to note, I do hate the napalm zombie, but it feels like it's needed in that map, if you know what I mean. This napalm zombie has only appeared so far in Shangri-La only, which is good. And so this map is going on the B tier. It is a good map. I wouldn't say it's a great map, but it's actually a good map in my opinion. A lot of people dog shit on it because of how what's the word? It's very hard, very tight. Not a casual map for casual players. But if you are a hardcore fan like I am, I would recommend playing this map if you haven't tried it yet. Next up, we got Black Ops 1 Moon. Moon is going on the A tier. Moon is it's a really interesting map. It takes place on the moon, of course, but it also has really unique mechanics. Like, it introduced you to the first ever No Man's Land, which is a no rounder. So there are no rounds in the spawn room or pack-a-punch, so you can feel free to get all the points you need as long as you can survive. And just having the dome as a training area is kind of fun, and also having the Easter egg in play is a really fun Easter egg to play, and a very shocking twist in the storyline. If you have not played Moon at all, I would recommend it. The only bad thing I have with this map is probably the drills on Moon, or the excavator, and also the of course the astronaut zombie that hits your head and takes one of your perks. Next up, we got Nocturne Tone from Black Ops 1. This is going to be the same. It's the same as I described. However, this Nocturne Totem has the Thunder Gun, so it is a lot better to survive. Of course, Nocturne Totem is harder on Black Ops 1 than it is on World at War because the zombies are more aggressive on Black Ops 1. But if you have not tried it yet, I believe the zombies are a little bit faster on Black Ops 1. So if you really want to try it out, I would recommend it. Next up, we got Black Ops 1 Verupt. Now this is going again on the C tier. Really unique map, I should say. It's set up a horse scene on the zombies map, and it also conducts the very first time of power and all the perks, and it also introduces you to a room where you're separated by half of your teammates, and so you have to work together in order to turn on power, and then you reunite. A really interesting way of promoting the power system, and I'm not gonna lie, Verupt is a scary map. It means asylum in German, so you know, you get a lot of crazy vibes, if you know what I mean. Next up, we got the Zombie Swamp, Shinonuma. This is going on C tier once again. Shinonuma is not a bad map, it's also not a good map. One of the things I have a problem with is, of course, the swamp. The swamp is one of the first mechanics that slows you down. And you will also see it in Call of the Dead, and also if you ever play Origins, you kind of get the idea of what I'm talking about. And so Shinonuma, it's a very interesting map. It introduces to one-of-a-kind trap called Flogger, and also introduces you to the wonder weapon called the Wonder Waffle. So this is what I like about the map. It's not a bad map, but one of the most curious things that most hardcore zombie players also find out is that why is Shinonuma part of the World at War Zombies series? World at War is called Nazi Zombies, and however, you have Imperial soldiers, Imperial soldiers infected as zombies, killing our crew. However, that's when our Black Ops 1 Zombies storyline starts. So basically, if you were to ask me why this is, I believe that starting in Shinonuma is when the story actually started, and the Nazi Zombies was just an introduction to our storyline. Next up, we have Der Reese. One of a classic, I would put on A tier. Der Reese is a good map. It's actually a great map, but it is a great map. There isn't a lot to say, except the fact that it's a really good survivals map and a really fun experience to play with your friends. It also brings back the Wonder Waffle, and it also has a few good trading areas. And the map layout is also really good. So, in my opinion, this map goes on the A tier. Next up, we have Transit. Transit, I believe, will be on the D tier. D tier. The reason why I say D tier is because all of the mechanics on Transit is kind of not. It's kind of tedious, and some of the some of the steps in here do not make sense. But playing Transit on co-op is really fun to play with. If you were me and play solos all the time, I would put Transit on the F tier because of freaking running around the map. It's just your type of style, and going to place by place takes absolutely forever, and also going through the fog. And so I'm putting it on the D tier just because of how interesting it is to go on co-op and how much teamwork is put into this in order to achieve your objective. Next up, we have Bus Depot. Bus Depot. Now, Bus Depot will go on F tier, simply because it's not a bare bones map that I kind of clicked in. Yes, it's a bare bones survivals map, but it is definitely not as iconic as Nuketown Zombies. You could say that, well, there is no perks, but that's the problem, is that, like, you play a zombies map like Bus Depot where you got a bunch of napalm zombies sprinting at you and stuff, and you have no perks, you're kind of screwed, you know? Very hard to survive in, but it goes on the F tier. Next map we have Town. Town will go on B tier. It would honestly be on A if it wasn't for the lava, but I'm totally fine. Town is a good map. Many people love Town as a survivals map because it actually has Pack-a-Punch. But that is not the reason why I'm saying this is a good map. One of the main reasons why this is a good map is mostly because the areas are large enough where you can train and you're not getting impacted on so much napalm zombies, which is ironic because the whole city or the whole town is it's impacted by a bunch of lava molten rocks. So it's very interesting to say that my perspective of Town is a positive one instead of a negative one. But at least you have Pack-a-Punch and your perks to kind of defend off of the fire effect. Next up, we have Farm. This goes on F tier. The problem that I have with Farm is a boring map. Unlike Town, which is really fun, Farm is just the complete opposite. It's not fun. The training area or the map layout is decent, but Town is just it's just boring. You know, Farm is how I felt on World War II. You just feel nothing. It's a survivals map. You know, you just don't feel anything. However, it steps up above Bus Depot. So I'm gonna actually put this right here. It steps up on Bus Depot, and yeah, I have nothing else to really say. Verrucht on World at War. We all know that this will go on here. This map has again introduced the fact that you're able to turn on power, get perks, and get divided by your teammates on one side of the map. Next up, we have Nuketown. Now, Nuketown, I have always enjoyed Nuketown a lot. I might get some, disagreements on this one, but I am gonna put Nuketown on B tier. Nuketown on B tier because of how challenging it is. I always love a challenge, and if you're trying to get better at zombies, I would suggest Nuketown because not only is it challenging, but it improves your awareness by a mile because you're always worried what perks you're going to get. It's always important to note where your perks are going to be, where what rounds you're going to get your perks and stuff like that. And this kind of thing really prepares you for what is to come when there's Easter eggs as tedious as Blood of the Dead. However, I enjoy this map and I play it every now and then. But a lot of people do not like this map at all, but I have a different perspective on it. So if you have a disagreement, please feel free to share your own opinion. Next up, we have Die Rise. Die Rise, because there is no... I will put Die Rise on C tier. Die Rise is... It's not a good map. I would put Die Rise at the bottom of an okay map. It's... The only good thing that I have about this map is the Sliquifier, which is a major upgrade to this map. And if they only just added PhD, I would have put it slightly higher. However, the Easter egg mechanics, the perks, the perk mechanics, it's a troll map. You know, it's a map where you get to troll your own friends, and it's not a map for, you know, people to take the game seriously. I, for one, have trolled some people in my lifetime on Die Rise, and it's actually pretty hilarious. But if you're the type of person that is not acceptable of being trolled, I would not recommend this map at all. You will fall off the map every single now and then, and it's not a fun experience. Next up, we have Mob. Mob will go on A tier. In my opinion, Mob is not an awesome map, but it's a great map. I feel like a lot of people kind of like, you know, I feel like they simp a little bit too much on Mob, if you know what I mean. But I love the atmosphere. I love the fact that it takes place in Alcatraz prison. If you're ever curious as to know what Alcatraz looks like, playing Mob of the Dead gives you a really good idea of what Alcatraz looked like back then. Just get rid of all the hell theme and just be like that. And the Easter egg is really unique. You kill your own teammates depending on which character you play as, and that's kind of interesting as well. One thing that I really don't like about this map is the fact that they threw PhD in the docks like it's nothing. And so when you're trying to play Mob of the Dead, the acid gat is really not it's kind of useless because you don't have PhD, and so if you don't have PhD, then you're gonna take damage from the acid gat, which is kind of useless. So you have to use the blunder gat and or the death machine. But this map is overall a great map. I don't think it's an awesome map. I don't think it's as good as Buried. I think Buried is better, and I'll let you know why. But in my tier list, it goes on A. Next up, we have Buried. Buried is on an S tier. S tier map, period. Now, Buried, it takes place on a unique cavern on a western town that was what's it, how do you describe it? The town was just, it was just like, you know, it blew up and now it sits all in a cavern. But Buried is a really interesting map. The Easter egg is fun. The wonder weapon, the paralyzer, is cool. The just all sorts of gameplay and side quests of this map is fun. You know, you can't, high rounds is fun, Easter egg is fun, everything about this map is fun. And you can't deny the fact that this map has not really any cons except for the fact that it's easy, but that's what makes it super fun. Now, here's why it's better than Blood. Buried just has Buried just has that what should I say? It's just a more fun experience, if you know what I mean. Like, I believe people that played Buried have a way more fun experience than they do on Mob. I could be wrong, but judging from most of the experiences that I have with Buried and Mob, I think Buried is just the better map. Oh, and also to note that a western town taking place in a cavern, really interesting stuff. Next up we have Origins. Origins is an S tier map. The top of S tier, and there is really nothing bad about Origins except for the mud. But other than that, you know, Origins is a really cool map, a really fun map, and a really complex map. You know, there's always something to do, and the staff upgrades is really fun, and Easter egg is really fun as well. If there was one thing that I just want to go back to, it's just that, like, it's just how insanely prepared you have to be before round 8 before the Panzer spawns in. This is a really important aspect, and I think this Origins deserves a spot on this map. Next up we have Outbreak. Outbreak is this is the first map of Advanced Warfare. I think it did okay. Ever since they introduced Advanced Warfare Zombies into the game, I wasn't really a fan, especially the fact that you had to pay $15 in order to play the actual Zombies game mode. And so the map was decent. It wasn't great. It wasn't awesome. The Easter egg was alright. It was a decent way of introducing us to zombies and how the zombies work. And it is a major disappointment that the next few maps that I'm about to propose are really dog shit. So let's get ready for this, alright? Next up we have Infection. I'm putting this on F tier. Infection, the Easter egg was, it didn't make any sense. The whole point of the Easter egg was to cook a burger. And don't get me started with the fact that you have to protect survivors, or else some of the areas around the map are gonna get locked off, and that's not fun at all. If an area of the map gets locked out, you already know that it's not a good map. Is there a way to reopen that area because of how important it can be? Because you never know. That area that you just locked out could have been one of the best areas to train, or it could be an Easter egg step, you know, and just getting locked out is just kind of tedious as hell. So if I were you, Infection is not a map to play. The only good part about Infection is Bob, which he actually turns to life and actually assists you into killing zombies. And good thing to know, Infection introduces you to the first ever Zombies boss. However, it's not memorable. I don't think it was that great. However, let's move on. Carrier. Carrier, F tier map. Here's why. I have no idea why it is a thing where an AI shoots you. When an AI does a ranged attack to you, it is the worst thing in the world. Which is why AIs shooting guns at you is the worst possible outcome that could ever go wrong. The Easter egg is, well, it's okay, I guess. Coming from a really amazing Zombies player myself, all Zombies Easter eggs are easy to me in a way, but I have the right to say that I have the right to describe how these zombies Easter eggs are tedious or whatever, and I think Carrier just it wasn't really a great map. Next up is Descent. Descent is a C tier map. I think Descent is it's an okay map, an interesting way to end Advanced Warfare Zombies. Definitely a really interesting boss fight and an interesting Easter egg. I think out of all Zombies maps, it was a major up. So if you know what I mean, I'm going to put this up below Die Rise. So yeah, I think it's better than Outbreak. I think it's better than all of the Advanced Warfare Zombies maps, and it's great to see how it all ended. It is not a top 5 map though. It is definitely not a top 5 map. Next up we have Shadows of Evil. Shadows of Evil. Watermark. Or you know what? Okay, you know what? I'm just gonna say Watermark as like my favorite map of all time. I don't know what. I'm just gonna put Shadows at Watermark. Shadows of Evil is one of the best maps that I think I've ever played in Zombies history. Shadows it's a more upgraded Mob of the Dead feeling, and the fact that this Easter egg requires 4 players kind of sucks in a way, but the best thing that I like about this map is even though it's a 4-player map, you can still kind of do this Easter egg on your own, kind of get used to the feeling of what it takes to do the Shadows of Evil Easter egg. And the swords steps are really fun to play, really fun to do. It has 2 upgrade processes, and it's really fun to play in my opinion. And I think the storyline of Shadows of Evil really clicks to me as well. Next up we have, okay, well we all know, I'm just gonna put World War Shinonuma right there. Dead Ops Arcade 2. I will just say that Dead Ops Arcade 2 is a really fun experience. I don't think it's perfect, but it is really fun in the sense that, you know, I beat Silverback and it was really fun to play through. I don't really have much to say about this, but it is really fun every now and then. Next up we have Nightmares. Nightmares, F tier. Nightmares is I played Nightmares before, but it wasn't really that interesting at all. It was more like a reskin of the campaign. So, you know, the storyline was also kind of confusing, to be honest. Like, I didn't, supposedly the demon was a Shadow Man, but you know, it was just a storyline that was wasted for potential. Next up we have the Giant Zombies. I would say that this map goes on the same as Der Reese on A tier. There is really nothing that different with the Giant and Der Reese, other than the fact that the Wonder Waffle is probably nerfed. But other than that, same thing as I explained in Der Reese. It's a good layout, and this time the graphics are better. Next up we have the Reisendrach. The Reisendrach is a watermark map, and here's why. The Reisendrach is a really fun experience. Just doing all the bows is really fun. and also add some challenge to doing the bows. It's not easy all the time. Like, let's say that you're doing fire bow, you know, if you don't know the shortcuts to the fire bow, it can actually be pretty difficult. And if you don't know the if you don't have a good memory, then void bow can also be really annoying as well. But Easter egg, I'd say it was really fun, and boss fight is also really fun as well, and it deserves a spot on the S tier. Zetsubo no Shima. This is a B tier map. It's a good map. I think it's underrated. There's aren't a lot of bad stuff about the map, except for the fact that whenever you go to the boss fight, you have to wear a mask, or else you're not gonna be able to survive the entire time. But other than that, I think the fact that you're able to resurrect yourself to life, have like a tombstone perk in a way in this map, is a really cool Easter egg. And also, what else? The challenges steps can also somewhat be tedious for casual players to witness, but other than that, I think it was a fun map. However, I really hate the fact that Zetsubo's trials is attached to the Easter egg, because that means that if you're playing with casuals that don't know what they're doing, it can actually be very difficult to navigate through the Easter egg. Next up, we have Garad Groby. Hands down a watermark map. Garad Groby is basically the upgraded version of Derice. It's like pack-a-punching Derice into getting this own like version of the map. The theme is crazy. You got dragons flying around. It's a cool setting, and the Easter egg is fun itself. It's challenging. It tests your skills on how well you're going to navigate through the Easter egg. And if you say that this map sucks, you are the most casual person I've ever heard. I can tell that you're already a Horizon Drag simp, and I will never play with you again. I'm just joking. But anyway, I'm just saying that this map is a really fun experience, and it should it's like just big. Like every single place that you go is big. It just doesn't feel new whenever you're jumping around place to place, you know. So from there, Revelations is a B tier map. If I were to say more about Revelations, it's just that high rounds is fun, but everything else kind of sucks. You know, because in high rounds, you kind of have to grind your way through the helmets and everything. But Easter egg sucks. Map layout not that great either. So it goes on B tier. Next up, we got Nocturne Tone. I believe we all know where this goes. It goes right here on C tier. Same shit. Same shit. I'm gonna put this where Shinonuma, same thing. Right out War Derice will go on the same spot here. Kino Der Toten. Kino goes on the top of C tier. I feel like Kino was a step down from Derice, except the fact that it has the Thunder Gun, which in my opinion, is a better wonder weapon. But one of the main problems I have with Kino is the Nova Crawlers. But other than that, it is a good map. I actually enjoyed it a lot back then. it really fit in Black Ops 1, but just playing it again, there are just other better maps in Kino. Next up, we have Ascension, a better map. I think this deserves to go on the B spot. B tier, better than yes, better than Revelations. Okay, Ascension, great map. I'm gonna move Nuketown all the way here. Ascension, so good map, a good way to start off the Easter egg, and a very casual survivals map. I think that this map is a good way of saying welcome to the COD Zombies Easter egg hunt. And this is a fun Easter egg, don't get me wrong. You don't really get anything but 2 minutes worth of death machines. But other than that, this is a good map and I would recommend it if you haven't tried it yet. Next up, we have Shangri-La. We already know, we already talked about this. This goes on B tier. BO3 Moon, we did this already. This goes on. Where did I put Moon? I put it here, so right here. BO3 Origins, right here. Zombies in Spaceland, top of S tier. Now, Zombies in Spaceland, kind of like Buried, is a great and a fun map. One of the things that it also introduces is the arcade machines where you get to play games, which is a fun experience in a way that Zombies isn't the only thing that's important in this map. It's also earning tickets, so that way you can earn a lot of supplies to help you go through your survival. Easter egg is fun. Boss fight is also fun. Boss fight, everything about this map fits in its own theme, and I think that this was a well done Infinity Ward. Rave in the Redwoods, C tier map. C tier. Rave, aside from doing the Easter egg on round 1 because of how simple it is relatively a major step down, but it's not a bad map. I would say that as long as you enjoyed Rave, you would have a good time. And that's really all I have to say about it. There isn't really nothing to say except for the fact that the map is so easy. Oh, and also one more thing to add. Once you do the Easter egg, you also get the wonder weapon as a reward, which is called a Smiley. And the Smiley is a really powerful wonder weapon. It is so good in the boss that you'll of course need it. Not a lot of people take note on this, but if you use a Smiley on Raven and Redwoods, you will guaranteed complete the Easter egg depending on how skilled you are. Next up, Challenge Shuffle. Top of F. Bad map. Bad map. Not a good map. I don't know what to start with this. I mean, the map just sucks. Yeah, it takes place in New York, but Easter egg is kind of tedious. The karate theme, the karate theme just didn't really click with me, especially one of the few, especially with the few potions that you get. It's not really that fun. So just the fact of being a ninja, great theme on paper, but it just did not click when it released. Next up, Attack of the Radioactive Thing. This goes on C tier. Attack of the Radioactive Thing is a decent map. It's not good or bad. Easter egg is okay. If you understand it well, like I do, It is actually a pretty simple Easter egg guide, but if you do not understand any of it, this is like studying calculus. And so one thing that I have to say is that this is one of the maps that has a more easier boss fight, if you know what I mean, but a more difficult Easter egg if you don't understand it, but pretty simple if you do. And Wonder Weapon is dog shit, but you can still navigate your way through by using some of the weapons like the Molar. And in general, just a decent map, you know. Do Easter eggs a few times, but not all the time. It's not very replayable, but it's a decent map. Beast from Beyond, I will put this on D tier. The reason why I'm gonna put this a step forward because this map is actual F tier, but I'm buffing it up on D tier because you cannot do the Mephistopheles boss fight without playing this map. This is the way where you get your super Easter egg. And this is probably the only thing that's good about the map is Mephistopheles. Other than that, everything is terrible. The boss fight, terrible. The Easter egg where you're trying to correct the password, terrible. Just everything about this map is not fun. And a really confusing concept in a way where you connect an interstellar map with the Undead Theater. Kind of weird sensation. Black Ops 1 Kino. But that's what I have for Beast from Beyond. Not really much to say except for it's a really bad map. I already said it was going on top of C. The Final Reich. C tier. Final Reich it's an okay map for me. A good way to start World War II, but it's not it does not reach the levels of the zombies I listed above. And the Final Reich has really cool wonder weapons called the Tesla gun. Has a really simple Easter egg. And you get to unlock characters as you do objectives to complete them. Really interesting map. I'm not saying it's a bad map, but it was very well done. But it is an average map at most. Groston House. D tier. Groston House is a bare bones map. If I were to play this on custom zombie maps, it's actually better. But unfortunately, we play Groston House on you know, World War II, and World War II zombies just isn't fun. So, yeah, not really much to say about that. The Darkest Shore. F tier. If there's one thing that I can say about this map, it is transit times 1,000. This map has to be the worst zombies map I've ever played in my life. The Darkest Shore, with intense fog, bad Easter egg, bad boss fight, it all sums it up, you know? The Darkest Shore, a terrible zombies map. And I have really nothing to say about it. The Shadowed Throne. A relatively decent map will go on C tier. It was a major step up from the Darkest Shore. Took place on a blimp, which is very interesting. We have never had a zombies map on air before, but this map is a step up. The boss fight, the Easter egg is kind of cool, and well, if you ever use the blunderbuss, it is actually kind of engaging as well. But aside from that, Shadow Throne is an average map at best. It's not too bad, it's not too good. Okay. I will just say All these maps deserve F tier. Darkest Shore will go over here. The Tortured Path. Okay. These are all F tier maps. These are like playing Bus Depot, but you have to do the Easter egg in order to unlock each map. And don't get me wrong, man, these maps are not playable. So doing these Easter eggs right just means that you're pretty much doing a total of 3 hours of Easter eggs if you're not good at doing speedruns at best. Next up, we have the Frozen Dawn. F tier. F tier. Frozen Dawn. Bad layout of the map. If you're not good at zombies, I would not recommend this map. There are 4 wonder weapons in this map that are pretty fun, pretty interesting. The problem is the way to do it. The quest on how to get these wonder weapons is not fun at all. It's kind of tedious, and if you're doing it on solo, it's worse. Of course, I didn't have a problem with it because I'm a really amazing zombies player, like I said. But if you are a casual player, I can feel your pain on this map. Boss fight is not that interesting as well. The dude is literally a bullet sponge. Nothing, you just shoot at him until he goes down and you pass a few checks, and that's pretty much it. Also, another problem I have with this dogshit map is the fact that, well, the zombies that are faster than you. If you have a zombie that is faster than you, this is not a map. This is not a good map. There should never be a zombie faster than you. Players should always have an advantage, because the one advantage that zombies have is that they could overrun you. One advantage that players have is the fact that they're faster. There's no reason that a zombie should be faster than you. There shouldn't be a reason. Voyage of Despair. C tier. Voyage is a decent map at best. It could be a bad map if you're not a fan of the mechanics, but I think it's a decent map. The reason why I put it up there is because of the boss fight. The boss fight is really fun, but the only way to get to the boss fight is by doing the Easter egg, which is not really that fun. But I digress. This map has well, nothing really special to it. The Kraken is okay. But other than the fact that the boss fight is fun and the Titanic is a cool area to have a zombies map with, it doesn't really add anything special here. And I put it on the bottom of C. Next up we have 5. A tier map. 5 is just that one map where you are challenged to manage your money. You're managed to do a lot of things. Buy guns, get perks, everything. Because of how hard this is, you really have to navigate, be like, okay, what should I do first? Do I need to open the door first, or do I need to get perks? Obviously, your first goal here is to turn on the power, because without Jug, you are screwed. So, another thing that I like about 5 is the characters. These characters are so iconic that you wouldn't even believe it's possible. Imagine playing JFK in 5. Such an impact on the map, man. Next up, we have 9. 9 goes down on an S tier zombies map. Here's why. It is a really unique experience to fight zombies in a gladiator arena in front of an audience. And too bad we will never see this ever in zombies, unless if custom zombies allows it. But we will never see it again. But it was fun while it lasted. The wonder weapon is really good. The Easter egg is fun. And the boss fight is really good itself too. And just the map layout is very simple. And it's very simple and kind of, you know, it's astonishing because if you think about it, you think it's a small map, but it has 2 floors and different layers around the map, and it is just a good map in my opinion. Next up we have Blood of the Dead. It is a C tier. I would say is better than going, keep on going, keep on going, keep on going. Yo, there. Now, I know what you mean. Blood should be bad, but I'm not going to discriminate it because of how bad Blood of the Dead is. I just think that Blood is a decent map. It's not good, it's not bad. I actually kind of enjoyed doing the Easter egg. It is kind of tedious though, but it is not a Easter egg to do on solo, however. But mostly, a lot of people discriminate this map because Mob of the Dead exists. However, I'm not going to be biased on that, and I'm just going to say Blood of the Dead is an average map at most. One of the major step ups that I like on Blood compared to, you know, Mob of the Dead is the fact that the wonder weapons are actually useful because you have PhD, and so you can use the acid gat if you ever wanted to, and you can also use the magma gat, which is one of the best wonder weapons in my opinion. It is a really fun wonder weapon, and I think without the magma gat and still had the acid gat, I still think it would retain a spot because of PhD. However, I still think Mob is better, but let's not get to the fact that Blood is like way worse. It's just somewhat worse, and you can't put it all the way down. Next up we have Classified. Classified A-tier map. Same thing that I'm talking about 5, except it's a little bit easier because the Black Ops 4 system is relatively more easier than Black Ops 1, and also you have double tap. So the map is easier. It's just, it's the same thing but just a little bit more expanded. I have the same thing about it. Dead of the Night, A tier. A tier. Dead of the Night has to be one of the most underrated zombies maps of all time. If you think about Dead of the Night, it's, some people actually hate it, but I don't really see the reason why. And some people think that it's because of the Easter egg. Relatively, the Easter egg is not that bad. It's actually very easy. And so doing this Easter egg is kind of fun, except if you think the scratch marks step is bad, then, you know, I wish you luck on Blood of the Dead. But this Dead of the Night map is fun. The wonder weapon is super good, which makes this map super fun. And this wonder weapon kind of gives me the Buried vibes of how fun the wonder weapons are. And just the fact that this wonder weapon is this overpowered just makes the map pretty fun itself too, you know. A fun map to do high rounds on. Ancient Evil, S tier. Ancient Evil is a great map. It's not good, it's not bad, it's a great map. Easter egg is fun. Pegasus and what's that guy's name? Zeus's son. I forgot his name. It's like it's something like I forgot his name. Anyway, oh, Perseus, I think, right? Perseus? Yeah, okay, Perseus. So, great way to introduce the Greek mythology into zombies, and I just think that having an kind of like Buried, having an underground city is really mysterious, and it really opens up to a lot of possibilities. And I think this map really did deliver. It's a good map on high rounds, and it's a good map on Easter eggs. And the wonder weapons are fun. Fun. I always love doing the blood gauntlet. It's so fun. Easily the best one in my opinion. Anyway, scratch that out. Really fun map. We go on to Alpha Omega. A major step down, however, it will go on to D tier. Alpha Omega feels like a custom zombies map. You know? Like, there's barely anything added into this map. It feels like classified, but it's like just worse. Because it takes place on Nuketown, and we know how tight Nuketown is and everything. This is not a map where you train yourself to become a better player. This is a boring zombies map. And thank goodness the Easter egg is easy, because if it was as difficult as Blood of the Dead for an average player, I would probably not play this map ever again. Ray guns as wonder weapons, pretty simple concept. I wish we saw it in Der Riese, but we never did. But doing it in Alpha Omega, I guess you gotta find a way to, right? But it's okay. I think story-wise, it was kind of interesting. You delved more into the lore and figured out more about what was going on. But other than that, map is bad. Next up, we got Tagder Toten. Tagder Toten, A tier map. Tagder Toten is I think it's a really good map, and because I like. Wait, hold on, excuse me. Sorry. And because I like Call of the Dead, I just think that this map is good. It was a really cool way to end the story and the boss fight was pretty cool too, don't get me wrong. Wonder weapons were not that great. However, the Thunder Gun, major bust up, and it's just a good map in my opinion. Great layout, but there are a few things wrong with it. Zombies Onslaught, I have never played in my life. D Machine, C tier. D Machine is a great way to introduce zombies in a new way, and when I say a new way, it's brand new. It's nothing like we've ever seen before. With getting perkaholics, having armor, just all this stuff, having no shield. I think it was a great way, but D Machine was just, it's a very simple map. And I like it. Goes on C tier. Dead Ops Arcade 3 goes on Watermark. Here's why. Dead Ops Arcade 3 is really fun, and don't get me wrong, it's harder than Dead Ops Arcade 2, but it has a lot to offer here. There's a lot of things to do, and you could even like go through all the dungeons, get yourself ready, and get your upgrades as soon as possible, and it's fun. It's really fun. I like the areas, I like the boss fights, I like everything about this. And it goes in on Watermark as one of the best Dead Ops arcades. Dead Ops Arcade goes on S tier. This, however, just goes really simply. It's a very simple game mode, and you just, just like Dubs Arcade 2 and 3, you survive in third person mode, and you're just killing zombies. However, this is more simplistic as it goes, and I think it's just the bottom tier. Next up, we have Firebase Z. This goes on D tier. Firebase Z is a boring map. It's not fun. The map is not interesting at all. Cool Vietnam map. Like, I liked Vietnam, but Shangri-La was already getting Vietnam vibes. So having Firebase Z, it's not a fun map. Next up, we have Zombie Outbreak. Outbreak, I would have to go on decent. It's kind of lackluster, but the Easter egg is definitely more challenging, specifically the boss fight, which is what I liked. But aside from that, Outbreak deserves to go on the okay tier list just because of it's a new concept, but it's okay. Next up, we got Malware. Malware goes on B tier, top of B. Murdertone is a good map, and the wonder weapon is great, the Easter egg is great, the boss fight is great, and Klaus is great. And the setting is great as well. It's sad to note that we didn't see Kino, or we didn't at least get a reference, see it anywhere, but I still kind of enjoyed its presence. Marauder Toten going on top. Next up, we got Forsaken. Forsaken, I am going to get some hate for this. S tier map. In my opinion, Forsaken is better than Mob, and don't get me wrong, this might be a little bit too high, but from my experience of Forsaken, I think it was a really great DLC 4 map ever. Like, I liked having DLC 4. Sorry for that, you guys. Anyway, where was I going with this? Running out of memory. Okay. Forsaken. The thing that I liked about this map was the Easter egg and the wonder weapon. And the setting. It was great. I honestly think that the boss fight could have been harder, but it was a great way to end a zombies map, and I think that going forward we are going to have an unexplained visit of a greater experience. Next up, Durlun Fang, man. Where to go with this? Automatic F tier. This map adds nothing. I swear to you guys, this map could have been the zombies hub of Vanguard, but it wasn't. It was an actual map, and I'm kind of disappointed. The way how I think they were trying to describe this was that Durlun Fang was supposed to be like a menu zombies map, kind of like in World War II multiplayer where you were running around the base. It could have been like that, where all the portals around yourself is a zombies map that you could play and do an Easter egg on. However, that's not the case. It is a mixture of Outbreak and round based, and this thing just did not click. In my opinion, not a good experience, a really boring experience, and I would not recommend it. Next up, BL1 Ascension. We already know BL1 Ascension goes there. Call of the Dead. A tier. Call of the Dead is a really good map. I love George Romero because he prevents players from camping around, and I just like the setting of a Lighthouse Zombies map. It's really interesting, you know, and the cast characters are great. You know, playing as celebrities that, you know, Freddy Krueger, like imagine playing as Freddy Krueger, like that's awesome. And also just all sorts of stuff, you know, like however, the wonder weapons are dog shit, don't get me wrong, but the layout is amazing. Like layout wise, awesome map. One way to get the power, one way to get to the box. It's awesome, man. And VR11 stops George from haunting you around, which is good and kind of useful. And that's what I like about these kind of maps, is that if you have usefulness for your own wonder weapons, you already know it's a better map than it's supposed to be. And we have Terra Maledicta, F tier. Same thing like Duran Fang, just adds nothing. Adds in an Easter egg, but it's too easy. You don't get anything out of it. So, here's my tier list, you guys. I hope you enjoyed my explanation, and well, I hope you have a good one. Peace out, everybody. And by the way, I will do a Zombies tier list like this 5 years from now. This could change, but anyway, favorite maps of all time: S tier maps, A tier maps, B tier maps, C tier, D tier, and F tier, and Zombie Onslaught, which I never played. Anyway, have a good one, you guys, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Hope to see you on another one. Peace out. Oh wait, you're asking me if you want to play? Sure, I'm down. But I'm gonna end the stream right here. If you want to go and play or whatever, you know, just go on my Twitch. I have an Xbox link there, and you can just